By today. I have some cards that I'm hoping that you will be inspired, some cards that you can be challenged and creative and make your own. My name is Linda Phippen and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. So let's get started. The cards that we're going to make today are from the set called All for Baby. A second set for baby cards is called Wildly Adorable, and these are so much fun to work with. And apparently, because of the pandemic and we're spending so much time at home, there will be a need for these cards in the near future. So these are samples of the die set that comes with the All for Baby, and they are just so cute. These tiny little hangers, you'll see what we can do with those, and even some little clothespins, a little pocket for the little sleeper, some bibs, lots of fun things. This here is a die from the set called Enriched in Friendship, and I had fun using this as well. This die, if you use just this one piece, you can use it for the front of your card and have the rest of the card to decorate. Or if you use this piece here, when you're die cutting, this will come out as a separate little piece. So just to let you know how I did that when we get going, this is our first card, and it says, "Hello, little one." And we're going to use some of these pieces that we've die cut. So I'm just going to move this down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to move it out all the way so we can see our card. There we go. So I'm using Bermuda Bay on this color, on this card, and we have our pieces. So I'll just lay this aside. So the base itself is white. That's the inside. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we have our little pieces here. So we're going to do some using our blending brushes. We're going to use some blending. So I've picked Balmy Blue for our clouds and sky, and I've used this before. You can buy these at any office store, and it's just a thicker plastic, and I just cut out some scallops on all of the sides, and all I do is put this on my paper and get your blending brush going here. And we're going to make it a nice blue sky. And you can just keep turning your paper around so that, because you know there's no two clouds that are the same. And you can even do this here, any side, because you know, and even if it moves, it's okay, because there it is. So just going to put one more tiny little bit here, and that is our sky. And then I took for the grass mint macaron and just put some resemblance of grass on the bottom. And being grass, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to make it just a little bit darker so you can see it. So that's an easy background to be using. So we're going to put on here a clothesline. Now there are still some people that just love to put their washing outside. And you know, there's nothing that smells better than clothes that have been dried outside. Let's make sure I put this up okay. So we're going to pretend that there are poles at each end, and we're just going to stick that on, and there's our clothesline. Now the fun begins. So we're going to make this a little boy's card, and what I did was, here, I put it this way so you can see better. So I've just kind of decide where you want them. And there's the little pocket. Let me just show you the little pocket that you can die cut and put on his little shirt. Not sure what he would carry in it, maybe his soother. And, oh, I still need the black. So when you figure out where you want your clothes to go, this here is clothespins. There we go. So I'm just going to turn this around so I don't get my clothespins upside down. So we'll have a shirt here. We'll have the bib here. And then we're going to have his other shirt here. His other little sleeper. Now don't you wish the clothes were that easy to hang up? And then I have dimensionals on here already, so I'm just going to take those off. And the clothes are hung up. Now there is in this set, what I would be used to is, I don't know if you can see that here, let me see, are little wooden clothespins, and they are awesome. But I decided just, you know, I've done a lot of die cutting on this, so I thought this would be fine. I put the bib upside down because the two clothespins will be able to hold better. Okay, so there's our clothes all hung up, and we'll just put this card together. And I've already die cut the inside. It has little hands, little feet, big love. So I'm just going to glue that in. And I just added some hearts. And all of the ink that is on this card is Bermuda Bay. I did the sentiment the same. It's called Hello Little One. And I just simply put a a strip of paper and then cut each end just to give it a different look. So there is card number 1. Big love in there. So that was fun to do. So that was kind of a guy card. So now we can do a little girl's card. That's using that little lace on there. This is Flirty Flamingo, is the color that we're using. And the card says the same thing, hello little one. And on the inside I use the same sentiment, and I put some little bows around. The one layer is used, I used the, let's see, contour dies. So that's leaving a very pretty border. Okay, so I used a smoky slate for the card base, just a little different. So, okay, here's the glue. So we'll put the pretty lace on the front. And I rounded off the corners on this base with using the, let's see, where's that die? It's called Detailed Trio. And here it is, which you've seen me use this before. So this is just the rounded corners. So it just adds a little interest and difference. So I did that for the inside as well. So this little bit of lace that I cut the circle in half and actually trimmed just a little bit off so that it didn't encompass the entire card. So I'm going to put that on first so I get that, so I know where that is. So just a little bit of glue, a little bit at the top, and a little bit at the bottom. And a little bit of glue on this piece. Not that all little girls like lace, but it is a nice touch. I have 2 granddaughters. One loves everything lacy and dressy and frilly, and the other one loves everything sports and climbing, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so I have to wipe my hands again. So what I did was I already attached those tiny little hangers. This is what the hangers look like. They're very, very tiny. And I glued them already behind a little sleeper with a bow. And 2 pink ones. This is stamped with the little polka dots, and this one is just die cut from DSP, just to add a little variety. So I do want the bow to show on the gray one. So I just layered them 3 little pink outfits with little hangers on, little gray hangers. And I already put the dimensions on, so we don't have to watch me do that. Okay, so just leave that dry for 1 second. Out of the middle of the lacy piece is a circle that I just put in the middle. And another die cut was another lacy circle, so it's just white on white. And then I put her little outfits in the middle of the card. And this one says hello little one as well as the other, except this one is in Flirty Flamingo. Not that every little girl has to have pinks and every little boy has blues, but it's just what we're doing. Okay, so that is the front of the card. What do you think? Looks okay? I thought it did. So just put that on the center. And then the inside is already done, the same scallops, except one is white and one is Flirty Flamingo. And you slip that in there. The nice thing about glue is that it is forgiving and allows you to line it up if you're quick, relatively quick. And there, oh, not yet. Let me just put some pearls. So I put one up there, and then just 2 small ones. One there, and one there. And that is card number 2. So, another very nice card. Okay, so let me just clean up some of these colors. The next card is using a little teddy bear from this set. So you have all of these clothes and clothespins and adding pieces, and then you have this very cute teddy bear. Okay, so there's the card. These are the ovals that I used from the layering oval set. So there are the large one for the inside and then the 2 that layer on the outside. So that's what that is. So I just slip those away. So this is also from that detailed trio, and this time it's just looks like little leaves. And DSP that came from, let's see where that came from. I will write it down in the description. But again, it's just a little subtle to give it a little texture looking. So let me just put that on first. So there's one on the inside and one on the outside. And this is early espresso for the teddy bear. The detail and the shading on that is exactly how it's stamped. So I would like to take credit for that, but okay, so it's a lovely stamp, very awesome. As you can see the shading in there. So I put dimensions on there. There we go. There's always something that goes on. A train goes by, or an airplane goes by, or the phone rings, or someone comes to the door. When you call Stamping Up headquarters for any reason, they'll say, if you hear any of those things, it's because we're working from home. And that's exactly what we're doing, working from home. There we go. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put the sentiment on first, because sometimes you know how you miscalculate where it should be. So this is Welcome Baby. And here's the cutest teddy bear ever. And I thought that if you wanted to make it a little more girly, there's a bow that you could put on him or her and make it a little bit more girly, but I didn't want that for this card. On the inside, the DSP, which is very subtle, is on here. And I didn't do anything with the oval, but you could certainly put a sentiment on the inside as well. And just to finish card number 3 off, these are Genio Gems, and they have kind of a browny goldy color. So I put 1 on the sentiment and 2 on the bear. And there is card number 3. We have one more card. This one is from the Wildly Adorable. So these, I'll just show you the samples. This is the one that I colored with our markers. I'm not an artist by any means, but the alcohol markers are very forgiving and go on very nicely. So one of the other little babies is a baby in a little rabbit costume or sleeper, and this one is in another kind of comfy sleeper that has ears on it. So they were very easy to color, and I just used you know, the least amount of colors that you use, the better. So I just use crumb cake and a soft petal pink. The color that we're using is Magenta Madness and Early Espresso as well. So here we go. Now, this card could easily be a card for a little guy or a card for a little girl. So we'll do with the little girl because I have everything in pink. But that's how easy it is to change that around. So our little person, little baby is quite cute. And these are these contour dies that they have a stitch along them as well as the scallops, which just adds some nice interest, I think. So this is a side fold as well. And the sentiment that I use is wildly adorable, which is well said. And what I did with the magenta is I just took the dabber and I went around, and it might be easier if you did it when it wasn't on, but it doesn't matter. You know, there's no rules for these things. And you can put as much or as little as you want. And then I did the same thing for the sentiment, wildly, which of course makes it easier when you don't have it glued down. There we go. And I think I've got that centered. There we go. And on the inside, I did the same thing with the dabber, just went around. And Sweet Little One is the sentiment that I put on the inside. You could put another layer on if you wished. And these are little flowers that came from I think a punch from last year. So I just put a little couple in there for interest. And you could also put them on the inside if you wished. And these are in color jewel pieces. So I put them on the inside of the flowers. And there we go. And that is card number 4. So I find that there's lots of cards that are in demand. Wedding, baby cards, get well cards, and they're all fun to do. So I hope you enjoyed these cards today, because I had fun making them. So there are our 4 cards. Let's see if I get them. Oh, well now. There we go. 4 cards. So thank you very much for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed them, and thank you for subscribing If you don't have an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would gladly be yours if you could contact me at my email address that I have under the description. And thank you again for your kind comments. And I will see you next week, or by the end of the week, with some more cards. So have a great week. Don't work too hard and stay safe. Bye for now.